It's time once again for a RAMMBOCK Dev Log. Hi, I'm Hybrid Mink, also known as Nick, and this time we're mostly going to talk about the boss fight in Chapter 3, known as Isis. I think it's an Egyptian name for the princess of the underworld or something. I forget. But first, there's a few things I'm going to go over that I did, little tweaks here and there. Let's jump into level 3 real quick. I was noticing, among other things, the last year, it is just dangerous to get close in this game. So I added one little thing that I think makes a kind of a big difference, and it's a nice little effect when you get chained, and that is this little effect right here. When you get a chain, you get a little burst, a little circle around here. So now, if you got in close with, like, say, a dash, you'd have a little bit of protection there. These guys, the mini sentries, I changed them up. They're less of a threat now. They're more like popcorn enemies you can just kind of kill. I forget how much I talked about them last time, but I think I did talk about them a bit. That's still there. The chain burst, enemy formation tweaks, I had to change them up a little bit in order to work with the new boss fight. I changed the colors for when you kill projectiles. When projectiles die, they make a little splashy thing. Now they're color-coded. Woo! Very fancy. I did a lot of playtesting at level 3. Make things feel a little bit better. Change some formations up. And training mode, I made some refinements. I don't know if I talked about this, but I did work on the burst and the rush trials. I don't remember if I talked about those last time. Either way, I don't think I'm going to show them today, but I did work on them this month. Now, this character you see right here, behind training mode, hiding behind training mode, is Isis, the boss of level 3, piloted by the main the most important antagonist, Andre and Anastasia, Briar's old buddies back from the Empire. The dual pilot system, you know, like Pacific Rim. This, in my opinion, is the most interesting boss fight in the game. So if you don't want to be spoiled on that, get out of here! But also, I'm going to go into the nitty-gritty, so it might be more incoherent ramblings, in case you were looking for something more organized. Well, you came to the wrong place. So first, I had to make a lot of new art assets I was not aware of. Basically, as I was working on it, I'm like, I need to make a new frame for this. I need a new death animation. I need this and this. So I ended up doing a lot more artwork this time around than I thought I would. And I decided to make a second background for Phase 2. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if halfway through the fight you fly off into the clouds? I'll show you that in a little bit. But let's just start with how I make these sprites. I make them I draw in Paint Tool Sci, and then I bring them into Photoshop because Photoshop has animation. And while Photoshop is not the best with animation, it does have the layer styles that let me tweak things as I need them. So you'll see a lot of different layers here, and basically I could export them by frame, and yeah. So I have glow layers, and then I have the regular sprites. It might not be the most efficient, and some enemies are way more efficient in their art than others, but this enemy, not as efficient, you know, as I like it to be, but at least it's all one layer, unlike that stealth enemy, which was like different body parts. Isis is just one layer, which made my life a lot easier, but still pain in the butt to animate her. So yeah, that's how I do it in Photoshop. I don't think I need Photoshop open, so let's just get 80% of my RAM back because it's fucking Photoshop. Maybe we can save that. So then once we do that, we import them all into Godot, and you go in the animation player, and here are the animations. This is probably all the animations. I might do like one or two more. But we have different attacks. We have the idle animation. We have the cinematic idle for when she sure shows up. We have... Well, I'm not going to spoil everything. I'll show it to you. And then a bunch of other things that are important to make the boss fight work. Let's just show... It's like an idle animation. So you get like the frame by frame here. You see the different sprites that I just made. And then you have like how different hitboxes... I'm kind of covering it up right here, but you see it. Different hitboxes turn on and off. Different things. I have a thing called a cracks component that I put on certain enemies, so you can see cracks you might have noticed on enemies like the sentry, the big round thing with an eyeball in the middle. It gets cracked when you hit it with the ram. There's a part of this enemy that happens too, but it's a little broken right now, so I might not show it this time. But that's one of those things that I have to use the animation player, because you can turn things on and off in the animation player. Over here, we have the tree. I'm basically just going over all the things that go into making anything in Godot, really. But a lot goes into making a boss fight, because it uses pretty much anything. It's like the thesis of like a college thesis, because it uses pretty much everything that would go into anything that I programmed. Let's see here. Animations, phase differences, code, movie clip, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of code, and then I'll actually show you the boss fight. So, so this is the ISIS code. It is derived from the enemy script, which I might have shown a very long time ago. The enemy script is very long. It is one of the first scripts that I made a year and a half ago when I first started learning to program in Godot. So it's definitely not the most efficient script in the world. And then a lot of that code is also offloaded onto these components over here, which many of them have their own code as well. And then the ISIS script is derived from that, and then it has its own script as well, which is way more efficient in my opinion. This script sends signals to the level. It reads signals from the player. It determines all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking, like, how can I pad out this video? But now I think I could just kind of show you the boss, and whatever comes to me will come to me. So let's just show you the boss fight. Let's skip ahead to the boss fight by going to my custom starting point. And I should just be able to go. I'm invulnerable right now, so I could just plow through anything. There's ISIS. No story stuff there right now. So I have ISIS at half health to show you different phases of the boss fight. But I'll just show you their attacks first. We have the diamonds that get spawned. Obviously, in RAMMBOK, you need something to hit. These are the things. They are basically projectiles that you can hit. And if you don't hit them, they eventually start tracking you, and then they explode on their own. Here we have the blade lanes, where the sword turns into bullets, and they follow you. After every attack, you get a little burst of purple bullets. It's just a little slash, and then bullets come out of there. And yeah, it basically does these 3 attacks at random. I kind of want to change it into something a little more structured. The blade, I call them blade lanes. There's 2 of those in this phase, so those kind of go random as well. And yeah, she gets centered every time she does this. And I'll show you next time she goes into that shield formation what you can do with that. Woo! So yeah, it doesn't show the cracks yet, but whoop. So yeah, going into the clouds and into phase 2. So now the attack patterns change up a little bit, and you can no longer hit ISIS during this phase. I have no idea why her defense is high right now. That was weird. I have to look into that. Like right here, when she's shielded like that with her cape, her defense is high, so you can't hurt her with bullets. But there was a brief moment where she had defense. See, she's blinking blue. That means she has high defense. So yeah, this phase, these blade lanes are, there's more of them. She has 4 diamonds instead of 2. You can't hit her during that phase. The background obviously has changed. And the slash turns into a 3 slash instead of 1. Now I'm going to see if I can do something during the slash attack. And if I can't, I have a clip that I'll just show you. It's a little difficult. Yeah. Try one more time. I don't want to kill her. I'm still tweaking things. She might have too much health. I'm not sure yet. Nope. Get out of the way. Ah, okay. I might try and do this fight without any invulnerability on. She's almost dead. Did it! You can counter hit all 3 slashes. Now that is not what's supposed to happen. Because I killed her during the counter hit, she takes it like, I forget what I set it at, but she takes like 100 or like 80 extra damage there, which means she didn't play her death animation. She's supposed to like go, oh, like reel back. So she got stuck in the animation. So I'm going to make a note of that. If killed during, what was it called? Stunned state, does not play death animation. I think what happens is it plays death animation, and then the stunned state overwrites it, and it plays the stunned animation. And because the death animation is what plays the whole explosion thing, she just kind of like glows and sits there forever. So yeah, the level doesn't end; she gets stuck there forever. But that is more or less that's ISIS. I managed to get the 3-hit combo. I won't. I'm not going to do it again with the vulnerability on. I'm surprised I managed to get the combo. So, in order to get the 3-hit counter combo, you have to do a ram, and then do the burst cancel 3 times. Well, only twice. You don't have to cancel the 3rd one. And then she's stunned for a little while. You get a ton of bonus damage, and then, of course, you get a little bit of time to hit her as well. So, by doing that, you get a lot. You can beat her much faster. But it's a shmup. So, like, you get hit, you lose a life. So, it's risky. I had to tweak the hitboxes a lot. In fact, that might be something worth showing. I had to tweak the hitboxes a lot in order to make that work. I had to tweak the logic behind my hitboxes in order to make that work. Whereas the hitboxes for a very small portion of that attack would stop targeting the player if the counter hit was achieved. Which, with the last 2 boss fights, I didn't have to do that. I think for the first boss fight, we had like the clamp. I'd have to do that because it had collision around the clamp. This fight, there is no collision at all. You can just go right through her. So I'm like, how do I do that? And that's how I do it. Hitboxes. So here's the hitbox, and here's the hurt box. And here's the collide box. Now the thing with the collide box is it has to be the same as the hitbox. Now the collide hurt box, by the way, it's a hurt box. That's what gets hit by launched things. It has to be the same as the hitbox because the hitbox hits the launched things. So they have to be hitting each other at the exact same time, or it doesn't work. Or one thing will hit one thing, and then they won't send a signal to the other thing. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, if I go to the animation player, and I go to probably the slash, the secondary slash will just show. So yeah, the startup is just the basic hitbox. And one thing I've been noticing, in a shmup specifically, it's good to have these basic squares most of the time, rather than like very specific, like, oh, I'm going to make the hitbox like exactly the right shape. Because you want it consistent. Your bullets go straight up, your attacks go straight up, so it's good to have rectangle hitboxes as much as possible. But for this attack, I had to go very specific with this. So the slash, the hitbox is here, and then the hurt box is blue out here. So you have a little bit of leniency where you can like hit it over here, and then this will hit you. And then we get this little dumb looking thing here. Trust me, this works. This is better. And then here, and it'll last for a little bit, and I extend it a little bit more, and then it's just back to here. Very forgiving hitbox to hurtbox ratio over here. And then we continue it for the next one. A little bit of a wobble there. Boom, boom. And yeah, very consistent. You know, not moving around. As the player, you don't want things moving around too much. It's like, why did my bullet just go through them? So a lot of tweaking, a lot of playtesting involved with this boss fight. But managed to get the meat of this fight done. I'm looking forward to putting the story into this because, again, this is the most, in my opinion, Chapter 3 is the most important story in the game, the most interesting story to me. So I wanted to make the boss fight as cool as this level is important. So, yeah, that's the meat of this boss fight. There's maybe a couple more things to this boss fight, but I don't think I want to show any more. If you're coming here years after RAMMBOK's come out and it sold just dozens of copies, now you know I'm definitely more of an artist than a programmer, but I'm still making it work. I think that will do it for this video, though. Thanks for sticking around for the whole thing, or if you skip to the end, what the hell's wrong with you? You missed everything. But hey, you stuck around, so I'm going to promote myself. You can support my work on patreon.com/hybridmink. You can check me out on twitch.tv/hybridmink. Pretty much every night where I'll draw or sometimes work on RAMMBOK. You can go to hybridmink.com. I have a RAMMBOK page over there, or check out any of my other devlogs. There might be around here. There might be a link to a playlist. I think this is the 15th one, and I'm going to keep doing these every month. So check them out, and I'll see you in the next one. Well, I won't actually see you, but you'll see me, which means I'll see you.